Biltong. Kind of looks like an old Roman sandal found in a peat bog. Hello people, welcome to another Snacks from Around the World. I'm Brindley Jones. This is the Hunger Pains channel, and today I'm going to be trying out one of my favourite snacks. Well, when I say trying out, I've had this before, many times before. I'm going to be trying out some Biltong. Kind of looks like an old Roman sandal found in a peat bog, but trust me, it's delicious. So basically what Biltong is a dried, well, it's a cured and dried meat. Usually it's beef, made from beef, but there are some other versions of Biltong. You can get Biltong made out of game. You can, I've even seen it made made from fish, even chicken actually, which sounds gross, and it probably is, but the origins of Biltong can be traced back as far back as the 1600s to the early Dutch German settlers in South Africa and some different parts of Africa. Yeah, Biltong came about basically as a necessity, as there's a lot of food that we eat today, for preserving meat in an era where they didn't even have refrigeration. It wasn't even invented yet. Now, I've even read that when they were making a long journey, obviously it'd be on horseback. Well, in those days, every journey was epic, let's be honest. It would have taken ages to get anywhere on horseback. So basically what they used to do is they get the meat, cut it into strips, and then stick it under the saddle of the horses, and the salt from the sweat of the horses would have cured the meat, and then what they'll probably have done is hung it on a tree or something to dry out. And they would have probably used different spices and stuff, and in those days spices would have been like magical potions and powders, and I guess they weren't far off the mark in there, because some of the spices that did in fact have some medicinal qualities. So the three main ingredients for Biltong. So one, obviously, is the meat, usually beef. Two, vinegar. And three, salt. Now the salt and the vinegar are the most crucial ingredients for making any kind of cured meat, especially for Biltong. Now the vinegar actually inhibits the growth of harmful bacteria, and the salt will actually kill a bacteria that you probably have heard of. Now I've got to read this bit. Clostridium botulinum. I don't know if I'm saying that right. And that produces a toxin called botulism. So those two ingredients, the salt and the vinegar, reduces and inhibits the growth, and the salt kills that particular bacteria, so that's good. And then in the next stage after that would be the drying process, which would sort of dry out the moisture of the Biltong, is to avoid mold growing on the Biltong. Nobody wants to eat a moldy Roman sandal found in a peat bog. So just going back to the spices used, the other ingredients more commonly used are black pepper, coriander seeds. You'll get chili Biltong. You will get garlic Biltong. You can get. I've seen all kinds of them. I've even seen a coffee flavoured Biltong, so a coffee ground flavoured Biltong. I haven't tried that. That sounds interesting. I think I want to give it a go. Now, before I get into trying any of this, I just want to talk a little bit more about the kind of what I would call a renaissance that Biltong is having in the UK, and I'm pretty excited about it, and I'm really grateful as well, because some of you might have known I was born in South Africa, and when I say literally, I have been eating this since I was a baby. My mother used to give me this to gnaw on, to teeth as a baby. So I really have been eating this all my life. And when I moved to the UK, it wasn't really widely known. Like I say, more popular in this country, and more small producers are cropping up here and there that are producing really good quality biltong, and also available online mostly, but there are certain little stores and shops here and there that I'm sure that I'll put some links in the description below, some recommendations I have for those places. And it's also cropping up in supermarkets, major supermarkets. They are jumping on the biltong bandwagon. The biltong bandwagon. And although that's great, yeah, I've tried it before. I find the supermarket biltong, I think the process of mass producing it kind of, I don't know, it leaches away the goodness out of the meat. Once it's sliced, so basically what happens, and I'll show you a bit more in a second, is once it's sliced, it will dry out quicker. So this brings me on to the healthy aspect of biltong. It's, you know, it's caught the attention of health experts and dietitians, and biltong is been deemed, you know, a healthy snack and superfood, in fact. Obviously, if you're vegan or vegetarian, this is not a snack for you. Although I have seen some tofu and bean curd style jerky, which may interest you. I'm interested to try it myself. Biltong is high in protein. It's, in fact, I think it's about 67% protein. It's low in fat, low in carbs. So this is why it's becoming more and more popular with athletes. It's naturally gluten-free. It's high in vitamin B12, which promotes healthy blood and cell reproduction. So it's good for your muscles, which is why athletes use it, especially weightlifters. You know, those people who like to pick heavy stuff and put it down again. Those heavy picker-uppers and putter-downers stuff. And you'll even see it branded in supermarkets as like a protein muscle snack. Let's try some out, and I just want to show you a couple of different examples of how you can get biltong, and also a sort of sausage version of it. You'll probably see something similar in supermarkets called beer sticks, and beer, you know, very good to go with beer. That is what this is, okay? Now I'll put a link in the description below of where I got all these bits from. So here is what it looks like. So what it is basically is a dried beef sausage, okay? It's pretty crumbly. You can get it a little bit more moist than this. When you order it offline at certain shops, you can choose the wetness basically, and that's how moist you like it, or if you like it really dry, which is my personal preference. This is called druvos. Translated at roughly dry sausage, and it's got a very savory flavour. You definitely taste coriander seeds in here, salt, pepper, and then you got that beefiness and slight acidity. This brings me on to this. This is how most biltong will come. Now, when you order it offline or from a shop, sometimes it will come in a vacuum sealed pack. Sometimes you can just order it off the rack where it's been drying and hanging, and they'll put it in a paper bag. Now that's important because that allows it to breathe and to remain dry. When you buy biltong in chunks like this, you need to keep it dry, away from moisture, otherwise that pesky mold will grow on it, and we don't want that. And then the other way you can get it is you can get this already sliced, and this is the way that most supermarket brands sell it. What it looks like, chunks, it's sliced. You can get it sliced a lot thinner than this. You can see how it's focusing on that. Will it focus? And it comes in these chunks, right? Well, one thing I'll quickly wanted to mention, one of my favorite bits about biltong, is this bit here. This is the fat cap. It's the beef fat. That is delicious. Trust me. Oh, so good. Now I can hear you saying, well, that's just like jerky. Well, yes and no. There are some similarities, I'll give you that. But in my opinion, the two different things. Jerky, I mean, it's made the same way-ish, but it has more sugar, it has more of a sweetness. I think it's even made with sugar. You can get honey jerky, all kinds of maple jerky. Although I'm a big fan of jerky, biltong is still my preference. You know, it's slightly different texture. I like both, so it's not a competition. So if you found this remotely interesting, if I've inspired you to go and try this, you've never tried this before, let me know in the comments below. Please hit that subscribe button, follow me on Instagram, try some biltong. If you've tried it, let me know, see what you think, if you like it, if you've got any other questions, if you want to see me try some other weird and wonderful snacks, leave a comment below. I don't know what else to say about it. I probably grossed you out by now.